Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, with my amazing co-host, Zoe from the Hangout Room. How are you? We haven't seen you sit in months since All Stars 3 watch parties. How are you doing?
Yep. I kind of miss talking to you, so I'm excited to do this. I'm happy. Let's go.
And we were joking about how it looks like we're doing like naked podcasting right now. But I have a tank top on.
And I got a full tube on, so I'm dressed, guys. The clothes on.
But it's gonna be naked podcasting. But what we're here to talk about is a show that was my favorite growing up. So, Zoe, I don't know if you were aware of this, but in the early 2000s, you were probably a wee tyke. There was a show called The Mole, and it was hosted by Anderson Cooper. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, I do.
So he was the host for many seasons. They did a celebrity mole. Like, it was so good. And it was basically these people like living in like a kind of like in a mansion, and they'd have to do these missions and stuff like that. And somebody was the mole. And I just love the show. I thought it was amazing. And now they're bringing it back. So I'm excited that it's being brought back because I loved it when I was, growing up. I was in my early 20s at that time. And now it's here. So what's your experience with The Mole? And I basically just asked Zoe, I'm like, Zoe, do you want to cover this with me? Watch this episode. And she did. So what are your first impressions of The Mole?
I knew nothing about the show until you told me about it. I checked out the trailer on YouTube. I'm like, oh my God, this is something I would love to watch. I watched the first 2 episodes and I am blown. I am hooked. I'm loving it. My mind is spinning because I think I know who it is, but I'm like, everybody thinks they know who the mole is until the person leaves. It's like, oh, I was wrong. So I'm excited. I'm interested. I actually want to I told my friends to watch it so we can bet. We're putting money on it because we want to know how good are we at reading people.
Ooh, should we put a wager on this?
Let's go.
We have some friends joining us. Hi, Kathy. Good afternoon. Actually, it's nighttime for Zoe. Zoe's in South Africa. So good evening to Zoe. Good afternoon to me on the East Coast. Hi, Adrian. Hi, JJ. Yes, I will. I was like, I feel like I have to cover this show. I love competitive reality show. I've always loved The Mole, and I felt like I was going to have like FOMO if I didn't cover it. Like everybody else covering it, I'd be like, well, I want to talk about The Mole. So I made it happen.
Yep.
Oh, the Mitchell Mole was so good, right, Kathy? Oh. The Mole is honestly a great show for people that love Clue meets any spy movie fans. Absolutely. Do you have the game Clue in South Africa? Do you know what we're talking about?
No, I have never seen the show Clue, but I do love spy movies. And my job, I do feel like my professional job, I'm kind of like a spy-ish.
Well, a lawyer? Lawyers are spies? Okay. I mean, I've always wanted to be a spy. Did you ever watch the TV show Alias?
Yes.
Right? Like,
I love it with Jennifer Garner, right? Yes, that was my favorite show.
It was my favorite show as well. I'm obsessed with that show. So I love spy movies. I've always wanted to be a spy. I kind of got recruited at one point to be for CSIS, which I wish that I had got. I mean, I still can go through with it, but yeah. So
and we were once upon a time you were also in Quantico. That's kind of like a spy. Exactly. So you have your moment.
I was just a cop in that, so I wasn't training. But yeah, I wish CSIS is the Canadian CIA. So at one point, someone did approach me to maybe do something there. But anyways,
I would have taken it.
Hi, Sherry Lynn. Thanks to Canadian Thanksgiving. I was able to check this show out this afternoon. I'm already on episode 4. Well, don't let us know.
Don't spoil it.
Have only watched episodes 1 and 2, and like my only complaint so far is the fact that I don't like a cliffhanger. Now, I know it's on Netflix, so it's a streaming platform that they just want you to sit and watch episode after episode after episode, so they kind of allow them to feed into each other. But for me that would like to do an episode one, like each episode recap, it kind of deflates my like momentum. So that's my only complaint, that we've seen 2 episodes, but there's only been one quiz.
Yeah.
So one thing that we're not also getting that was in the original season is the music. So whenever they had that, I should try and find it. After when they have the quiz, and it wasn't cell phones before, it was like a big TV screen where it would be like a big green or a big red if you're done. The music would be like, like a so spy movie, and so I don't remember hearing that, but I miss that music, I believe, and I miss the big TV screen. Yeah, but still, I think it's super duper fun. So Adrian just finished rewatching season 2 last night. So good the second time around. You know what? I should do a rewatch because it was honestly my favorite show. Did you watch the whole season? Oh, I guess we only have up to episode 5.
Yeah.
Yes. Good evening, Zoe. So I don't know if anyone agrees, but I honestly really like the mission so far. It gives me more Space Room-esque vibes than legit spy missions. Yes, that's true. We're going to go through the episodes for sure. But yeah, definitely episode 2's mission was very escape room. And I love escape rooms, so I liked it. We only watched through the eviction in episode 5. We stopped there as it would be torture to have a cliffhanger. Right. Until, when does it come out? It comes out on Fridays, right?
On Fridays, yeah.
The first episode was a bit slow, but wow, the season really heats up after. Hi, Sean. Thank you for being here. Hi, Dolores. Hey, you all. I used to watch the original. The original used to provide hidden clues in the episode. Sometimes it's the mole's initials or astro signs. Yes. So that's something that I wanted to say to Zoe. So they do tend to put, they're not clues that you're really going to get, but they do put clues on who's the mole in every episode. I don't know if that's going to translate into this new series, but in the original series, at the end, when they reveal the mole, they show all the little, they show what the person did to sabotage missions, and then B, they show all the little clues that we could get from watching it as to who the mole is. So
looking at episode 1 and 2, I don't see any clues. I'm just analyzing people's personalities right now, and I'm like, I don't trust you, I don't trust you, I don't trust you. So we'll see how right and wrong I am.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing some more. I forgot about this element when I was watching Dolores, but I think for the next episodes, I'm gonna start paying attention and see if I find any clues, and we'll share it and talk about them potential clues to who is the mole. I feel like the consensus for everyone watching it, but loved all 5 seasons. Yeah, it was great. It was so good. Okay, so that's another thing too. So you know who else Anderson Cooper is. And I thought that he was the best host because he was just he's so serious, but like kind of funny sometimes. Like I just equate the mole with Anderson Cooper. So Alex is definitely new. She's younger, she's female. What did you think of Alex as a host? Just from your experience so far.
I can't compare her to anyone because it's like the first season I've watched. I just saw this beautiful lady who is calm, cool, collective, and in control. And she is not trying to match. Like everything just flows with her. Because if I had to compare her with game host, I'm looking at Jeff, I'm looking at TJ, I'm like, they're too extra. And so Alex is just the perfect host for me for this show. Yeah, I like her.
I'm still comparing her a little bit, but so far I do like her. Another thing though that I'm experiencing is that there's not that big of age range here. On the original series, there was like some older people, like some, like it wasn't just all these young hotties that are on this show. So what did you think about, I know, what do you think about the cast so far?
I like them. They're very different-ish. But they do tend to blend in together so far because 2 episodes in, I haven't really been introduced to everybody. I just feel like there are certain people who are getting the most camera time, which makes sense when you see who goes home afterwards. It's like, okay, I see why you got that much camera time. But I do feel like as the time goes on, then I can really start telling people apart, because right now they're just all blending in, the age group wise, races, they're all slowly blending into my age at the moment. But I'm sure as time goes, I'll be able to start telling them apart.
I know. I mean,
they're all the same.
I kind of know who they are, I think, but like, I would love to be like, there's like an older guy, an older woman, like that's doing these silly tasks. Like,
for me,
nice.
it's like Netflix. No, I feel like Netflix is like MTV. They like the pretty young, good-looking people. So I don't expect them to be that diverse when it comes to age, especially in the first season when they're tasting things out. It's like a circle. The first season, I feel like there was more youngsters, and then as time goes, they started getting more creative and more diverse. I feel like that's what Netflix does.
Yeah, you're right. But I guess for me, as a person that would be on the older scale of this cast, I would probably be I think I'd be the oldest person on this cast. It's just kind of like, come on. Like, it's not a show where you need them to be in a bikini. Like, can't they have a little bit of age diversity, please?
We'll see.
So Adrian's saying that Mike confirmed after talking to an executive producer that there are audience clues this season. Okay, good to know. I think the executive producers confirmed that they're hitting clues in an interview. Thank you, Marco and Adrian.
Now I feel like I have to go back and watch.
I might. Well, no, I just want to watch the next episode. So I cannot wait to hear your views on the other 3 episodes. I think you ladies will love it. I mean, great TV. Okay, well,
let's start with
through this one, and then we're gonna get to the next one. So, first episode: Are you the mole? And
nope.
Could you be the mole?
No. I blab too much. I'll probably tell everybody, I'm the mole, I'm the mole, I'm the mole, just to see if they believe me or not. So no, I blab too much.
I don't think I could be the mole. Like, as much as like I'm an actor and like I love the idea of playing the game, I don't think that I would be an effective liar in this type of scenario. I feel like I'd be always kind of slightly smiling, like I'm not the mole.
you know who's got to be like that right now? Craig. The first 2 episodes, like every single time they say mole, the camera goes to his face and he has like this smudge look at his face. I'm like, you are the mole, ain't you?
Especially when I think is the mole right now. Okay, right now, who I think is the mole is Greg.
Yeah. And it's all on his facial expressions and things that he does, and the way that the camera just focus on him. I'm like, you fishy right now. So no, I'll be Greg. You will see it written all over my face.
Yes, Greg is very smirky. Hi, Sherry Lynn. Greg reminds me of Jim from season 1. Oh my God, I don't remember season 1. I'd have to rewatch this, Marco, which I might do because I'm really into it. So far, FaZe is Pranav. Yeah, Pranav is great. Joy, sketchy.
Joy, oh my God, Joy is sketchy.
These are all the sketchiest people.
A pilot who can't read a map. I'm like, dude, let me know when you're flying a plane so I am not in that plane with you. No, I'll take a plane to the US and end up in Mexico. I don't trust Joyce. No, thank you.
So, Adrian, these 4 people are on my short list for the mole. Those are all the people that I had some suspicions about being the mole. These 2 episodes. Yeah,
Sandy is very quiet. I don't think I've even heard her speak in the first 2 episodes. She's very, very quiet. And her and Casey are making me very suspicious of him. So I even took notes. I'm like, ugh.
So curious. Do you think that the producers are telling them to also play up being a little bit sketchy? Because like some people are just doing so many things. You're like, come on, like, are you trying to pretend to be the mole? So do you think that the producers are getting them to play this up, or do you think that they're deciding on their own to act a little moley?
In the first 2 episodes, no, I don't see anyone doing funny, crazy things. I just feel like even though Joy is a pilot and was in charge of the directions, she got it wrong. But for me, it's a jungle. Like, come on, I'm bad in directions too. Who uses map to find a location? Okay, we use Google for a reason. We have Siri on the phone.
You under 30s? You under 30 people? You don't know what life was with MapQuest, okay? Like, I grew up with reading maps, okay?
So, yeah, that was very fishy. And then Drake just walking around in the water and unable to me, it didn't seem like he was doing anything to actually help the team. So that got me like wondering what's wrong with him. And then costing the team money, but instead, at the end of the day, it was a good gamble to read the clue and then get their box. So I'm like, it's fishy, it's funny, but there's nothing extreme in the first 2 episodes that have me going, oh, you must be the mole. Like, no.
Well, I love the beginning interrogation scenes when they're all just like, I'm not the mole.
I'm not the mole. And I'm like, I'm the mole. That's me. I'll be different, but I'm the mole. It's me, people. It's me.
Have you ever played any of these social strategy games where you have to kind of lie about your identity, like Secret X or Secret H or Werewolf, or there's a few, it's kind of similar? Have you ever played any of those?
No.
So basically I have, and whenever I've been like the bad guy or the person, I'm like, I'm so bad at it. But I'm great at guessing usually in those games. But
I think the closest game I've played in a kid is when you hide something and then everybody has to go find out where it is. And then if they're getting hot, you say you're getting hot. If they're getting cold, say you're getting cold. That's the most closest spy game I've ever played.
That's fun. I do that with my niece and nephews for sure.
Yeah.
So they are in the Daintree rainforest in Australia, the oldest rainforest on Earth. They said. Have you been to Australia? It's kind of on yours. No,
no.
I have not.
And I'm not setting a foot in Australia anytime soon. No, thank you.
Okay. We start to get introduced to some people. So we get introduced to Casey. She is a COVID nurse. Casey is somebody that Adrian has on his short list of moles. So yep. I don't remember who Jacob is right now, and I remember Cassie.
Jacob is the firefighter guy. For me, I'm definitely with Adrian. He's a firefighter. Yeah, I'm definitely with Adrian when it comes to Casey. She has like this motherly figure, very welcoming, very calm. And that people like that usually scare me because I'm like, you can manipulate me by making me feel like you are trustworthy and you are nice and you are calm and reasonable-minded person. Those kind of characters scare me in a game. So Casey, I'm looking at a funny.
MapQuest, Marco. Okay, when I was in high school, I used MapQuest to get around in my mom's car. Okay. And I had to print it from we'd dial up internet and I had to print it at the library.
I think it's hard to believe because you don't look your age at all. You and I look like at the same age. So when you say things like that, people are like, girl, how old are you? And I think if you ever say your age, people would drop down dead and will not believe you.
Probably. So we next meet Cassie. So she's a computer analyst. Jacob, as we were talking about before, the firefighter. He's never left the USA. And that's actually a moley kind of clue, I would say.
Yes.
It's like, oh, yes. So you could play oh, I'm so naive. I've never done any of this before. And you can
I'm from the small town in Ohio, Northwest. I don't know anything. I'm just a firefighter. I'm like, yeah, Jacob. Yeah, right. He is my biggest suspect so far.
That is sus. The fact that whether it's true or not, it would be a good ploy to be able to distract people from you doing maybe things that are a little bit shady, right? You'd be like, oh, I just didn't know. Never done it before. I'm so naive, right? So I can put him on my short list too. We see Osei. He's a real estate broker. So they're all meeting in the rainforest, and this is a little bit different from what they did in the original series. It was always kind of like in like a house or like a mansion type thing, if I remember correctly. And this was like in the rainforest. So I think they were drawing on Survivor. They're drawing on I don't know if
The
you watched Snake in the
challenge.
Grass. It's the challenge a little bit. I think they wanted to have that like adventure outdoor feel. I enjoyed it. So they have to find a plane. Apparently that was what their task was, to find a plane. So Osei sees the plane, and then we meet Joy. She's a commercial pilot. Someone else that's a little sketchy. Beautiful, but sketchy.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Avery. So Avery is a professional gamer. She's another person that I wonder if it could be the mole, because professional gamers have ideas as to how to maybe deceive. Like they play games all the time. And so I could see her wanting to be the mole and wanting to play. She's not on my short list, but it's a good archetype for the mole, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with Avery, simply because of her job description. Like, if you're playing games your entire life, why not be in a game and be the thing, the glitch of the game in real life? I feel like that would be a perfect. But at the same time, I think it's unlikely that she might be the mole, because the second you tell people I'm a video play gamer professionally, it's like, oh yeah, you are a mole. It's too easy. I feel like making her a mole would be too easy.
But like, it could also be because that it's too easy that people will be like, oh, she's not the mole. So
I still believe in the saying that the mole has to be the person you suspect the least. The two obvious ones, like, no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Everybody, I could make an argument probably for everybody to be the mole right now. Like I think I could. We meet Pranav. He is a law student, and he says that he's extremely intelligent. I'm like, okay, buddy. I mean, maybe you are. But I was just like,
we haven't seen it yet. We just got here, so hold up. Let us tell you how intelligent you are.
I definitely feel though that he's a strong person to either be the mole or to be in an alliance with. So I would probably want to work with him, but it could bite me in the butt if he is the mole. Right?
Yeah.
But the one good thing, if he is the mole and if we are working together and he likes me, he would keep me maybe in the game instead of trying to get me out. But that's another thing, another way you can also start to see maybe who's the mole is. When you know who people are targeting and then you see people go out, you're like, oh, well, they're kind of working with, you know what I mean? Like you can start trying to putting the pieces together. So as the season goes on, hopefully we'll get some more clues as to like, who is the mole? We meet Dom. He's a warehouse worker. He's a funny guy. I
really don't think there is no way Dom is the mole on the following. One, he's too goofy. And two, I just don't feel like he can infiltrate any circle. Like, he's just too goofy and he's here for the money. And I just feel like he's too trusting. Like 2 episodes in, already forming a bromance with a guy. Like, I love you. I'm like, dude, it's been 24 hours. What the hell do you love about this person? Like, yo, no, there's no way Dom is a mole. Hell to the no.
Oh my gosh, Adrian, 100%. I was saying the exact same thing. I actually paused it when I first saw the preview for the mole, and I was like, that looks like Rohan. Looks like Rohan. And then I went to investigate to see if it was Rohan, and then I learned that obviously different name, and he is from the States. But I agree wholeheartedly that they look very similar. When we actually see their personalities and him talking, I don't feel like they're the same, but just looks wise, they're very, very similar. Very, very similar. Okay, so Dan, hi Dan, thinks that Pranav looks like a mole, but I don't think he is. I don't know.
And 2 episodes in, we haven't really gotten much from him. He hasn't, these first 2 episodes haven't really said much, doesn't not get any screen time. So it's very hard to even assess him to say he cannot be the mole at this point. Because so far in the first 2 episodes, we just seems to be focused on Dom, William, and Aussie. And I'm like, okay. What about the rest of the guys?
Well, I mean, I think that he's smart though. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm still reserving judgment. He's on my short list, I think I said. Or kind of like loosely. He's around there. Hi Diva. Yes, come back. We'll still probably be talking about the show. So we have a holiday here in Canada, so I mean, I don't really work, but like a lot of people are off today. Okay, we also meet William. He's a brand manager.
Ooh, William once he looks like Jesus, and then he comes across with this your savior personality, like I'm just a cool boy from California, all about surfing. I'm like, you're trying too hard for people to like you, or it's effortlessly, regardless of what it is. He got the juice. Like, no, like I feel like he's the perfect person to be the mole, because I feel like so far everyone is drawn towards him, especially the guys like Dom and Aussie seem to be drawing towards him, even the girls too. So I'm with Joy. I'm like, you're too friendly. You're too, look at me, everybody. I'm nice. I'm Jesus. I'm here to the rescue. And I'm like, no, no.
I don't know how I feel about William yet.
He's hot though.
You think he's hot?
I think so. I like his body. I like tall men with muscles, and he gives like a full proportion. So I imagine everything to be like, big. It would not make sense for anything to be small with that size. Like, it's huge.
Okay, we'll see. Maybe there's gonna be a scene with all your young hotties that he's gonna be like swimming in a pool, like in a Speedo.
I'd love to see it.
We meet Greg. He is a marketing consultant. I wish that they made me understand why he had a triangle.
Yeah. Then comment like he's a mole. He already have extra stuff. I'm like, yep, I'm with you. Like, when did he get that triangle?
Why does he have a triangle? Ooh, Adrian's saying that William is giving Jonathan Young, I want to be a provider energy. Is that's Jonathan from last season of Survivor, right?
Yep.
William Riley. Oh, right. Yes. So,
yep. Also another Jonathan.
You'll be keeping your close eye on that one. Okay.
I am.
I feel like for me, William, or you just keep a close eye on him because you think he's hot?
Both. Okay, I can multitask.
I don't think he's hot, but I don't think that he's a mole. I feel like he's too sincere. You know what I mean? Like he's trying too hard, like you said, to be the hero. That I don't think that he would be able to deceive. It just for me, it just doesn't seem like it's in his character. But I could be completely wrong. Like this is one show where you could be completely wrong about people. But my first instinct is that he's not the mole.
You sound like Dom. 2 hours in, it's like, I love William. I'm like, both of you are just nope.
I know Dom is.
I think Dom is gullible. I find Dom a little bit gullible so far. So I feel like him trusting William so easy in a game. I'm like, they're just William playing mind games with this guy. Like, I don't know. I have a thing with trusting overly nice people, and he gives me that. I died. Maybe, yeah.
Man buns don't do much for me. Man buns don't do much for me either. I mean, I've seen a couple cute man buns, but it's not for me. Marco thinks that Will's hardness might be a cover for his sabotages.
Yeah, because
maybe I'll keep an eye on him, but I don't know. We'll see. There's obviously there's an issue that we get to talk about with Will, so we're going to get to that very soon. So they didn't show these two players in this opening, but Samara, so she's a psychology student. They didn't show they showed almost everybody, and then they didn't show Samara, and then they didn't show Sandy, who's a sales manager. And I was like, why aren't they showing? Like, it's just two extra players. Let me see this in this opening montage. Like, why are you not showing two players? So I thought it was annoying. Hello, players. So Alex Wagner comes and joins them all looking around this plane. And they have their first mission. So they're going to have to split into 3 groups. And that's something that is very common to to the series is like splitting people in groups or people in duos or in pair. Like they make you have to work with the mole doing different tasks, which I think is really great. And it's also helpful for the quiz because be like, was the mole in this group or was the mole in, working with this person? So they are going to have to retrieve 3 pieces of cargo to earn $5,000 for the pot. And there's going to be 1 up high, 1 down low, and 1 submerged underwater. So they kind of have to choose which group they want to be in. Which group would you have chosen to be in?
Anything that doesn't involve water, because the second I heard water, I'm like swimming. I'm like, hello, I'm black. I'm not swimming. Hell no. Anything that doesn't involve water, I would have taken. Height, yeah, I'm okay with that. But I think most likely I would have went with Joy's group. Because of what the task they have to do. And if Joy is there and she's a pilot, I'm assuming she can give me direction. And it just has to go dig for whatever this thing is and be done. I didn't think they were going to get stuck in a jungle because the pilot doesn't know how to do the map. That's the last thing that would be in my mind.
So Alex says that everything that they need is in the plane. And Jacob asks her whether or not there's a key to the plane. And she's like, glad you asked. And so she throws over the key to Jacob and they go into the plane and they start this mission. So each of these groups have a big backpack or a big duffel bag. And so they're all split into their different groups. And the up high group is Dom, Avery, Cassie, and William. Then the down low group is Samara, Sandy, Joy, and Osei. I think I would have probably chosen to be either up high or down low as well. I just don't like being wet.
Yeah.
Like
especially in a jungle. It's not like I'm going to clean water in a beach. Like it's a jungle. The water's gonna be dirty. So no.
And then the submerged group, so the water group, is Jacob, Greg, Casey, and Pranav. Now, Greg had a theory, and I want to know if you agree with it. So he says the people that picked up high are physical overachievers. He felt that the people that picked down low were people that wanted to hide, and that the people that were picked submerged were all team players. Do you agree with his kind of assessment as to which areas people chose?
I do, especially with the height. When I'm looking at Alvari, she does strike me as an overachiever. And then I'm looking at where Drake ended up. I do feel like he's wanting to get down and dirty. So he can be, what's in the turn. I do agree with the assessment. I don't think it was planned, but I think it was a well assessment, and I do agree with it.
Adrian's commenting on your hair.
Thank you. Thank you, Adrian.
So the submerged team seems to be headed in the right direction. I love when they show the maps as to where they are, as to where they're supposed to be. We don't know if it's 100% correct, or accurate, but I do love seeing okay, they're on the right track or they're kind of going completely out of the way. That's something that they stopped doing on different shows, like the challenge and stuff like that. I'm like, I always want to know times, how long it's taking people. I want to know where they are on the map. I like seeing people's progress. So I was really happy that they showed that.
I think with the challenge, we can all assume the reason why they stopped showing it because they wanted to mess around with the editing. And they don't want the time because your people screenshot everything and you'll be able to point it out. So they're like, we don't trust the challenge fans anymore. So they're going to protect themselves.
We need to screw them over and not be accurate with what's going on. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. So Joy is taking the lead here with the down low team because she's a pilot. She knows how to read a map. So with the other group, they find, so with the up high group, they find that they have a clue in the bag. They have helmets, they have ropes, and if they want to read the clue, it would cost them $2,500. So it's $5,000 per group that completed the mission, correct?
Yeah. No. Didn't it cost them like $5,000 to read the clue?
$2,500 to read the clue.
25. Oh, okay.
So the submerged group also open their bags. They find water shoes. So this is where Greg started to get a little bit sketchy for me. So he's being just a little bit too thorough, right? Like, I'm just gonna stay and survey this area right here. Like, I'm just gonna make sure that, like, and it's like you're probably you're gonna see this big thing, you know? Like, you don't need to survey like every little nook and cranny of this area. So I was like, that's a little moly.
I agree with you. I actually even took notes on that, like him just not wanting to fully participate and being at the background, and then suggesting that they'll read the clue and lose the
like,
money.
Let's open the clue. And like, what? Like already? Like, why do you want to open the clue so quick?
Especially since you're not doing much to contribute, and then your only contribution is let's open the clue. But fine, it took the bait, they open the clue, they get the clue, and then he finds the box and it's like, yay, I come to save everybody. I'm like, that is so mole-ish. I'm gonna cost you money and still take the credit for winning the mission. I'm like, you're funny, you're moving funny, so yep, here's the mole.
Short list. He's on my short list for sure. So the clue was telling them how to open the crate that they hadn't found yet. But so that's why I agree with you. Like, you know, he got them to lose money because that's really the mission of the mole, is to get you to either fail task and lose money. Mole doesn't want you to get any money. And so you lost $2,500, and then you're able to find now this box. And because, this is something that you don't know, Zoe, and I'm assuming it would be the same in this series, is that the producers help the mole. So they give them, like, they will have maybe understanding of what the missions are going to be, and maybe help them with suggestions on what they could do to sabotage. So they get a lot of information as to how they could maybe sabotage. So he might have known where the box was, the crate was, and you know what I mean? Because he just found it right after it. Like, so you couldn't walk 2 steps to your left before you took the $2,500?
Knowing that now makes it worse because I didn't know the production helped them. I just thought that it's also their challenge in the game to figure out how to sabotage without getting caught. So now I feel like the most job should be even easier then, because you know everything and you can plan ahead and you're getting help. So I thought it would be a little bit harder because you have to think on the spot.
No, so, they got help. Well, I mean, they did in the past seasons, so.
Okay, and then I can be a mole. I'm going to have production helping me, then I can be a mole.
Adrian says the team down low took their name too seriously because oh man, they took too long. They were so bad. So bad. So Osei on the down low group doesn't trust Joy, the pilot. They are lost. And this is the thing. If somebody takes the map and starts to, like, walking in whatever, like, I wouldn't just follow blindly. Like, I'm somebody that likes knowing where I'm going. I would be like, I would want to put my 2 cents in as to what direction we should be going in. And from what she was doing, they were completely going in the opposite direction as to where they needed to go. So I just don't understand why somebody else didn't step in to redirect or try something new. I wouldn't have let that happen.
The thing is, in that situation, if I was there, I would have followed Joy. Because I don't know left, right, center, northwest. I would have trusted everything she is saying, especially if she says to me, I'm a commercial pilot. In my head, go, you know how to read a map. You should know directions. So I'm going to trust you. And now, in the first mission, I don't want to interfere.
A little bit of credit. Like, how they read maps is actually with like points that are on like a little screen, and then you have to like just like, you know, turn knobs to like go in the direction of like a point on like a screen. So it's not like they have a map out there and they're like, okay, like let's go turn right on at this boulder. It's definitely not that. It's definitely on a screen and you move towards a point and you turn
no problem. However, she is not in her 20s. I think she's somewhere in her late 30s, going to early 40s. So she should be smart enough as a pilot to be able to read a map. That's it. That's all I'm basing it on. Like, girl, you should be smarter to know where north, south, and east is. So I would have trusted her completely. So I don't blame the team for following her. I think just knowing her profession, you automatically think she's smart, she knows this. So I would have trusted her the same way everybody did.
So Marco is agreeing with me. So yeah, the mole knew all the games before production began, except for the one in Belgium. They got chosen on set after their first mission. Wow, that's hard. That's hard. I think for the first challenge, I'm not paying attention to what anyone is doing. And it's the beginning. Everyone is excited, has their game plans in their mind, has their own agenda. No, it's totally true. And that's why everybody was doing very suspicious behavior, because everybody was so excited to be there. And poor Osei is just not trusting Joy at all. But he should have taken the lead then and take the map out of her hand and like being like, okay, I'm going to.
That's one move I don't agree. I don't understand with Osei. I feel like Osei is one of those people who are very like ready to blame everybody else, but don't contribute much to the mission. The entire time, whenever he opened his mouth, it was about to complain about Joy. And I'm like, okay, fine. We get that Joy is doing a bad job right now, but what are you doing, Osei? Mm-hmm. You're not even opening a bag. You're not even taking the risk. Like, you're just walking around complaining. So I was extremely annoyed by him, and I just, I was like, no, you're annoying.
All I got from Osei, for me, I was like, he's not the mole, and he's probably going.
Yeah, there's no way you can be the mole.
He doesn't know who the mole is. He's too paranoid. He just, I don't think he has a handle on how to detect the mole. He's a great character. He was super fun and like very, excitable and quite big and like enjoyable to watch in that sense. But I was like, he's not winning this game and he's not the mole.
I felt the same way with him and Dom.
Dom as well, but I think Dom is a little bit better at maybe making
leadership,
friendships.
Yeah.
Or like working with people.
Yeah.
So the up high group, Avery, we learn is an avid climber, so that's our gamer. And so she's like showing them how to use the belayer. And so she's like, they're hoisting her up and like with the rappelling thing. And so she's up there because their crate is up high. And so they figured out, I think it was Cassie, that we got to swing her back and forth so she can get closer to the crate. Finally, she gets to the crate, and then she starts acting all sketchy, being like, oh my God, there's so many knots. I can't undo all these knots. And they have a time limit. It's 1 hour, and the time is ticking away. And so I was like, Avery, this is kind of moley behavior. But I couldn't fully see what knots you're talking about, but fine. But then Cassie just like Cassie. She gets herself hoisted up and helps her with the knots, and they are able to drop the crate. So they receive the crate. They're able to run back to the plane. I believe that they were the first team that completed their mission, did not use the crew. Mm-hmm. And they got their full $5,000, if I'm not mistaken. And so with the up high, so the submerge group, also back at the plane, they beat the up high group, and they're like, oh, did you complete it? Did you complete it? So submerge lets them know that they took some money. So that's always, whenever money's been taken, everybody's suspicious, right? You're just like, what's going on here?
And they just put a target even more on Drake. I'm like, boy, now everybody knows you were in the team that took money. So all of you are moles right now.
Absolutely. Marco is saying it's a team game, and it's not a team game. I don't get players who complain about other players playing a selfish game. Well, yeah, no, but like you have to win together. Like, so I agree with you, Marco. There's no selfish game if you have to win together, right? Yeah, I totally agree. Adrian agrees with you. Exactly. At the end of the day, it's an individual game. Wait until Zoe and Chantele get to the next 3 episodes, because
wait a minute, now I'm scared. What am I gonna see?
So, and I don't like how in this game specifically, other players said, how dare they go for safety and not be a team player? Like, what if you were granted the same thing? Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure it's just sound bites that people like are saying these things because like they're being probed by producers, maybe in their confessionals. Because absolutely, I'm gonna take whatever safety. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're gonna get there. So getting there soon. So Dom wants to be called Dom Cruise because he's so badass. The down low team finally meet back at the plane. They did not satisfy their mission. How they got back to the plane, I don't know. Because like
Production. So okay, just go walk straight that way. Don't waste any more time.
And then we have to wonder why they didn't open their bag.
I actually took note of this. I'm like, I don't understand it. I thought it was very fishy behavior on Elsie's part for him, even the way that he was behaving when they're like, okay, fine, the game is over. Now open your bag. They see what was included. It doesn't help anymore. The mission is over. And he's still acting funny. I'm like, dude, I don't think you are the mole, but right now you're acting funny. And I don't know if you're not understanding what's going on or if you're too paranoid or you're just not that smart. I don't understand what it is. So which one is it? Are you not smart or you're over paranoid?
And paranoid. I think it's a combo of those two. Sorry, Osei. Like you're sweet guy. You broke up your romance with Dom. Dom's like the bromance with him and Osei is over, so now he's just gonna be with William and his bromance. So they set up camp for the night. And they're all kind of talking at the campfire and asking questions about what's your biggest fear. And Dom says owls.
Okay, Dom. I don't blame him though. I'm also scared of owls. Ever seen an owl running?
No.
Dom has. It is not miss.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've never seen an owl, I don't think. So in the morning, their cargo is gone. The bigger cargo. So the one that had the $5,000 case that the Up High team had won for the pot. They were supposed to put that and then the 2,500 case from the submerged team into the plane. And in the morning, the $5,000 case is gone. Who did it?
At that moment, I thought it was Austin who did it. I don't know why, except for the part that I found him a little bit fishy. So I thought he might have done it. So I'm like, this stupid partner boy is doing something here. So I literally had my money on Austin more than anyone else.
I was thinking that it might be William because he was like a kind of up and at him and he was like trying to get everybody, okay, we got to look for it. Let's go look for the case. Like he was just being a little bit active. So I was wondering like, you know, the person like that's super active here, like maybe they are a little bit guilty.
And also when he wanted to tell everybody, it can't be a Dom who was sleeping next to me. Yes. It can't be. I'm like, dude, so you were up all night watching who's sleeping, who's up. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, if you know who's up, then you are the
You were up with them. So all of y'all are suspicious, especially you who knew who was up and who was sleeping. So I thought of him, but at the same time, I wasn't surely convinced. The first time I watched it, I just kept on taking notes. I'm like, I'll see. It's Austin. He's dumb enough to steal this shit. It's Austin.
So while they're all searching, we see Greg like, guarding the small bag because he wanted to make sure that he got this $2,500 still. But they are unable to find the other case. A helicopter picks them all up and drops them at this fortress like type.
Yo,
I don't know what that was. Compound.
That house is beautiful.
Like it wasn't a house. Like it was just.
I don't know whatever it was. It looks like an alien spaceship from the top, yeah. And I loved it.
Me too. I thought it was amazing, and like it had a big pool. Like I was like, okay, this is a very nice place that they're going to be staying at.
I thought about the challenge. I'm like, oh, challenge USA, Australia. Can you guys live in that house? I think I just found my location.
Maybe. Oh wait, no, I think they're filming in Argentina, though. Actually. So Alex comes to the mansion to talk to them about their mission, how things went, and she has some night footage of the missing case. We see some blonde hair.
Bam.
We see some movement. Then we see Will's face. And I was like, wow, what's going on here? Why are they showing us who this person was? What was your reaction when we saw who stole the case?
I'm like, my instincts are right. It's Jesus, the Savior. Here he comes, ruining things for everybody. He's definitely the mole. But if he is the mole, then why are they showing us? There's something going on here. But I was satisfied to think to myself that I might be on the right track. Like, William is the problem. Do not trust this man.
Yeah, Adrian, I was worried that I don't know if you watched Snake in the Grass, Zoe, but in one of the episodes, they revealed who the snake in the grass was pretty much at the beginning. And so it was still fun to watch, but I was like, I like not knowing who the mole is and trying to guess myself. So I was worried that this show had picked up on that and like we would now be watching the mole the whole time knowing who it was. So I was worried. I was like, no, I don't want them to reveal who the mole is.
I was like, yes, I knew it. Stop. It's so William.
We learn that it was a secret mission that William found a card. If he were to take away this case and hide it, he would be able to double the money that was made. And so now they have $12,500 in the pot. So success.
It's a very mole-ish thing to do. I might do gain your trust, be very nice, go with secret missions, get your guys to like me, and then when I start sabotaging you, you will not suspect me.
If he was caught, the mole would have lost money, right? And so it was a mole type risk to take. And the mole could get a little bit of help from production being like, like coast is clear, who knows? So yes, it doesn't take him off. I still don't think William's a mole, but it doesn't exonerate him. So everybody's dressed up for the quiz. Alex is obviously hosting this quiz. I thought everybody looked great. That's something that was quite consistent. There would be like a little bit of a party and then everybody would go for the quiz and looking dressed to the nines. I only wrote down I wrote down all the questions that I saw on the quiz. So one of the question is the mole currently married?
Yeah.
Did the mole's group make it back with a red case? What color shoes is the mole wearing this evening? Is the mole an only child? What color are the mole's eyes? Who is the mole? I put Greg.
Another interesting one, I think when they asked, was a mole wearing white at the party? I'm like, those are very like, I think I would have lost because I'm like, I wasn't think I'm supposed to know about these people. So watching it for the first time, I was like, this question's, well, they're scary for me.
The quiz is very scary because you could know who the mole is and not remember some of these details or not have asked them these details yet. So
yes,
everybody, I don't know if they are going to do it specifically, but usually everybody gets a notebook where they can take notes about the mole and stuff like that. And so as you learn more things about people, you start making your notes about different people. So you would know what color the mole's shoes are if you have your suspicions on who that is, because you just kind of like take inventory of everything about the mole.
And I didn't know that coming in. Like, since I'm watching for the first time, I had no idea those are the type of questions that I would have to know, which means you have to engage and talk to these people and be forever analyzing everything down to the T.
Love it.
Even if their eyes change color, do their eyes change colors at night? Like, exactly. Like a blue eyes at night and brown eyes in the evening. Like, oh my God, like that's so crazy.
So Marco is saying in the original season, they would have shown the convos where these details were discussed. Yes, I'm kind of remembering now, like a little flashback of like when the conversation happened. But I would have been after the end of the season though, I think, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so we're using the mobile phones for these results. And then I wrote down, oh, that's an annoying cliffhanger. So the cliffhanger is the fact that they went through everybody with them getting the green signal on their phone, and it's down to Joy, Osei, and William are the three people that have not received that are left to receive whether or not they are staying in the game or not. At that point, I was like, I think it's Osei is going, because I feel like he was really paranoid, but he was paranoid about everybody. And so I just felt that he didn't have a handle on maybe how to play it a little bit safe. So like maybe do some questions male oriented, some questions female oriented. Play a little bit with probabilities with some of the questions, like the one where did the mole come back with a red case? Maybe say yes to that, because like there's a higher probability that the mole was in the group with the more people. Anyways, I don't know if he played it smart, the quiz. He probably went all in on Joy, and it was incorrect.
I 100% agree with you. I feel like when I saw that, especially when you move into episode 2, when you see that it's actually him going home, I agree. I felt like he was too zoomed in on Joy too much, and listening to other people do the quizzes and giving us their idea how to think. I thought it was a smarter play to cast the nest a little bit wider, and I don't think Osei even thought about that. Even in his confession, he was just too focused on one person only, and I think that was his biggest mistake. I've done the quiz. I was safe, so he knows who the mole is. Do not tell us. I'm joking. Okay, give us your top 5. Top 3.
I added a VPN so I could go to Netflix just in case to see if I can find this quiz. Sorry. So that's why I froze for a second.
Continue. Oh, yeah. I want Marco to give us his top 3 quizzes because I want to see who he thinks is the mole is.
Hold on, let's just try to do this quiz online, maybe. Oh no, it's gonna be up to date. I think. Where are these quizzes, Marco?
Don't you have to get to all 5 episodes to take the quiz right now?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me see. Do you know who the mole is? Prove it. Okay. Oh, okay. So, okay. I guess it has to be. You have to be up to date. I guess.
You have to be up to date.
Do you have to be up to date, guys? It said spoiler alert, but I don't know where the spoiler is up until. Agree. Giant screen, because then the audience is on the edge of their seat every week, like the contestants. Yeah, I know. Who cares about the cell phone, if that's what you're talking about? I did have several suspects in mind when I took the quiz. Exactly. I've heard from other people that they took the quiz with different players and they said that they were safe or eliminated, or other way around. So the quiz can be randomized and the producers produce different results. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it's after episode 5. Okay.
It's after all 5, yeah.
Okay. So maybe we'll do that together.
Okay,
or
no
we can
problem.
each.
I feel like I'm gonna be eliminated.
Yeah. I did the quiz posted yesterday. James Wellington tweeted it. Awesome. I think I found it where it is. But we have only watched episode 1 and 2 so far. All right,
let's just finish the 5 episodes and then we can take the quiz, because then we can know who's already out completely.
Right, exactly. So we come back. Joy thinks that William is the mole. Osei thinks that Joy is the mole. I don't know who William thinks is the mole.
I think he thinks it's Joy. Because he was talking about how she's a pilot and couldn't figure out a map.
Okay, yeah, Dolores says you have to be up to date today's quiz. I took the tests, not a success. Okay. So
I'm gonna be hurt.
Joy is safe now, and it's down to Osei and William. And I was like, I think Osei is going.
Yeah, it was really clear at that point.
Suspicious of everyone. I just didn't think that he had a handle on the situation, and was correct. Osei will be leaving us at the beginning of episode 2. Great character, not a great investigator or player in this type of game.
I don't even think he will survive in Survivor. I don't even see him surviving in a challenge. Like I doubt him in everything. Like I doubt that boy so badly. I'm sorry, Jose, but no, no, thank you.
Agent's like, so guys, y'all better watch these next episodes now after this and do a recap tomorrow because I need all y'all's reaction to TV Gold. Oh, yes, we will.
We will. I think tomorrow we can just do all three.
Yeah. We'll get caught up.
Yeah.
It's perfect like that. So they're going to be going to Brisbane. And I thought it was really funny when they're in the car and Greg's like, my strategy is to absolutely not lie. And they're like, have you ever lied? And he's like,
yeah. My best friend was when Joy was giving directions, and then at the back, what it was like, I don't think Joy should be directing us right now. I'm like, I know. Get off the map,
Joy. So Avery, we learned that Avery really trusts Pranav, and she wants an ally. And that is something that's really important, I think, in the mole. Granted, like it sucks if you actually are partnered with the mole because it makes it easy for you to lose. But I think that it's a good idea that she trusts Pranav. She doesn't think that he is the mole and they can trade information. And I do think she thinks he's very smart. So I think it's great to have an ally in this game. And I think that he's a good ally for her to have. So they're going to the Brisbane jail. Sorry.
If he's not the mole, then yes. But we'll see. We'll see.
So Alex is at the jail. She's inside and people are just like kind of worried, like, oh, why are we at a jail? Like, this is terrifying. And so they have to collectively decide who are the two most trusted players.
This was interesting.
Why?
For me. Because Dom, I already ruled out Dom as a mole completely, along with Aussie. But Casey, and it goes back to the notes that I made about Casey, that there's all trustworthy, calm,
the nurse.
Everybody can trust me. I feel like that's a best person to be the mole.
It's true. I agree with you. And so I was agreeing with Cassie. Like, how do I say her name? Like Kesi. Cassie.
Kwasi or something, but they don't say Cassie. Or Kwasi or Kwazi.
It's not a
somewhere there.
Sound. It's not a quas sound for sure. But can someone phonetically just tell me how to pronounce her name?
Kesi.
So she wants to put the least trusted person in that position to see how they would do in this under pressure and to see what they would do. So I agree with her. I wouldn't put the person I trusted the most. I'd put the person I trusted the least because that would hopefully be a nice little tell. Kazi. Yes. Kazi. Cookie. Kamikaze. I've heard like kamikaze. Kazi. Thank you so much, Adrian. Kamikaze it is. So they end up choosing Dom as the most trusted player. And yeah, Joy doesn't think that Dom's the mole. Neither do we. I think that if you're going to go for trusted, like he is going to be kind of like Osei, pretty honest with what's going on. Like I don't see him being a master strategist. So I would think feel safe with him being in this position. And then your girl, Casey, though, in the secondary position, and I think that it's suspicious.
Very suspicious. I would have never recommended anyone. I would have sat back to see who people call out because then I get to know who people trust and who people want to work with. I would have never have said the name. And I think it was a mistake to offer up Avery and Craven, and they say, no, not them, because you're now making it clear to everyone that you don't trust those two. So I would not have opened my mouth at all.
No, but I would open my mouth because I want people to think that I'm the mole. Like,
no.
I want people to think I'm the mole. If they think I'm the mole, they're going to be voting for me in the quiz, and then they'll get out. So if I'm not the mole, I want people to think I'm the mole.
True, but at that moment, just nominating people's names, I'm more focused on who's saying what.
Yeah, sure, true.
Yeah.
So this episode's called Take No Prisoners, and they're going to have to jailbreak in 3 groups. So each of the 3 groups are going to be each person in 3 separate cells, but each group has the same identical 3 cells that 3 of the players are going to be in. I loved this task. Like,
Me
this
too.
was so fun. I love a good escape room. I love an escape room where you have to work with other people to get out of your, like, I thought it was so freaking fun. I was locked in on this one. I thought it was great. So in cell block F is going to be Jacob, Pranav, and Sandy. Cell block E is going to be William, Avery, and Samara. And cell block D is going to be Kazi, Greg, and Joy. So these groups were all a little bit interesting. Like, out of group F, I thought Sandy, we hadn't really heard much about her, so I was like, what's going on, Sandy? Why aren't you really talking here?
That's my girl.
E, I was like, don't really know much about Samara. I didn't really think that anybody was in that group was going to be the mole. Maybe Avery, but I felt that group was going to be a safe group. And cell block D, I'm still thinking Greg. Joy is pretty sus. Kazi, we hadn't really seen that much about, so I was like, And she had a good strategy of wanting to have the least trusted person in there, so I was like, So, cell block D, my alarm bells are going off. I was like, they're going to be the troublemaking group, I thought. So it's going to be $10,000 if all 3 teams are able to escape in an hour. And basically they had to retrieve a key to be able to get out of their cell blocks. So good. Have you done an escape room before?
Yes, I have.
And they're
lucky I was with very smart people, so I didn't contribute much. Did not contribute much.
So basically, like, there's little things that you could do to help each other, right? So, you know, you could look through, some people had only had a peephole, but some people had like a larger hole to be able to see like one of the other doors. And then the third room was on another floor. So they can still hear each other, but they couldn't necessarily communicate with the person or see the person in the block that was upstairs. So sus number 1 was, who said this? Someone said, Samara? No. It was in Joy's group. I think it was Kazi said, is there anything outside of my door? No. And we can see a key on the ring in front of Kazi's door that Joy just doesn't see this key. And then she can't reach the key in her room, and she's just like, I don't know. There's the lack of urgency with Joy. I'm like, why are you being so, like, sus?
There was a point where Joy was doing push-ups.
Yes.
And then when they finally figure it out and they still got a time added on to help them, I feel like she was more focused on making sure the chair was sitting pretty.
I wasn't.
Joy makes me want to peel my skin off. It's just that she's so beautiful that I don't mind staring at her. But I think that she did this episode really made me want to peel my skin off.
She was really annoying. Really annoying. So obviously the 2 most trustworthy people get to have another little secret mission from Alex, and they were giving them the opportunity to make some more money for the group by shaving off 10 minutes of their time. So if you were in that position, would you have done that?
Yes, I would have.
Why?
If you cannot get it done, if you need 10 minutes to get it done, maybe you would just not would have gotten it done in the first place or whatever. Let's just take the risk at that point. I was definitely with Casey, like, yeah, whatever, why not? See what happens.
Right after that, I wrote, "Oh gosh, Joy is suspicious with no urgency." I would be like frantically in this room, like I would not be moving slowly, and she's just like moseying around, and like nobody can see her other than the cameras. So like, why is she being so chill? So that was very suspicious to me because nobody could see what she's doing, but us, and so that would be to me someone that would want to be taking a long time to
finish out. Yeah, and she wasn't really communicating that much. I remember I was watching Katzi and thinking to myself, oh, she could be Chantel's cousin. Your guys' pressure structure. I'm like, you guys could be cousin or related or something.
Okay.
And then she kept on asking questions. Can you do this? Can you do this? I'm like, that's all Chantel thing to do. Oh, what about this? What about that? In my head, I'm like, yeah.
I love giving suggestions and
Exactly. So I'm like, that is what Chantel thing to do. And just to hear Joy not offer anything, it was like, what's going on? She had a book at some point, I think, and I'm like, what's going on there? And then I thought to myself, can she not move the bed? Maybe she moved I didn't even think she tried to even lift the bed to see if it's stuck on a wall or something. That girl was just like, I can't reach. Game over.
It was brutal. So William is asking Samara because he can notice that the key ring is in front of his door, but he can't fully see it. So he asks Samara if there is a key attached to this ring, and she's like, no, it's just a hair tie.
What the will a hair tie be doing outside a cell? And don't you think that maybe we should actually reach for the so-called hair tie? Because there's only one thing that's actually out of place. Samira, why is your brain not working? And I'm like, is she that blind? Can she not see at all? What would a hair tie be doing in a prison break?
I don't know. Like everything is intentional in escape rooms. So the fact that she thought it was a hair tie, how are we going to use the hair tie then? Just be like, well, it's there for a reason, so we should try to use it. Samara.
Exactly. And the point that William even say, is there no key attached to the hairband? And she's like, no. I was like, she's the mole. The girl is the mole.
No, she should have said, I can't tell. From my angle, it just looks like a hair tie. I'm not sure. Like that would be the responses that I would give, not like definitively no.
Saying no. Yeah. She was too assured of her answers. And that assurance that she gave is the one that made me go, I don't trust you anymore. You are the mole.
So Jacob was in the same cell block as William, but in his group, in the same room as William, but in his different cell block. And he decided, he's had seen the key thing as well. And so was it him that noticed? No, he uses a sheet with something attached to the sheet, and he puts it through, and he kind of able to pull the key a little bit closer so that he's able to, I believe, get the toothbrush. And I don't know, I thought he was pretty inventive, and he was saying
it was, and it made me think maybe he's not the mole because he's working really, really hard to get this key. A mole wouldn't do that.
Yeah, well. But who knows about the next part, you know what I mean? But yes, no, I agree. I don't think that Jacob's the mole. I thought that he was too helpful. He was having too many solutions and trying different things. So I didn't feel like he's the mole at all. So cell block F. So that's with Jacob. So Jacob gets out, and they get out Sandy, and then they use the mugshot. So there's a different mugshots in the room, the cell block upstairs, and they're able to go and look in the different cells of the 3 different pictures, and they're able to find a key in the Bible, and so they're able to get all their people out, which I thought was great. I thought they did an excellent job.
Yeah, and it was nice to see Sandy succeeding. It made me feel like, oh, maybe she's not the mole, but she's very, very quiet for my liking. As much as I don't like to overly welcoming people, overly quiet people too are just as dangerous. And Sandy not really talking much or standing out a lot is making me very suspicious of her.
Yeah. Adrian's A hair tie, girl.
In a prison break, outside the door this day for William's hair to tie it. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sure, Lynn. I kind of want to watch the episodes, so we could see. Yeah, no, exactly. Like watching it again, just so knowing who people are. I want to like pick out to see if I see any clues and stuff like that. So if I have the time, I might do a rewatch as well.
I'm actually gonna go back to do the rewatch because now you guys are making me think of things I didn't think about, like the clues they give off every episode. I haven't been paying attention to that at all. So I'm curious on what else have I missed, and I'm just going this like to analyze now because now I want to take the quiz and win.
Take notes if you can. Like if there's many, to write them down, and we can talk about them too.
When I watch in slow motion.
So Will, he is the only person I believe that noticed on his own that the chess pieces in his cell were magnets. So yes, Diva also remembered this as well.
Yeah.
And so this apparently was to use to maybe pull in that key. And so I thought that was also really smart. So Will ties the sheet to the magnet chess piece to
get the hairband,
to get the hair tie, the magnetic hair tie, because it just goes click click, and he's able to pull it up, and you hear like the click 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 of the key, and William's just kind of like,
really, Samari, you couldn't see that?
Yeah, I wrote down Will ties the sheet to the magnet to the hair tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really funny.
And then when it gets to the confession for Samari, just like, oops. I'm like, no.
So that's when we see Joy's in her cell doing push-ups. I'm just like, question mark, what's going on here? So Alex does have another deal for our two most trustworthy people. If they use $1,000 from their money, they can give a clue. And so I guess did they give it to both teams, or they only showed one team?
And that was the only team that was remaining at that point, because the other team already figured it out, so they didn't need any help.
Two. Okay.
And there was only one. And that was the most easiest deal to make. So I totally agree with Kate's decision. I was curious on Dom saying, no, we shouldn't give them the clue. I'm like, it's $1,000, Dom. And you need everybody out. Are you not able to do the math here? If they don't come out, you lose everything. Nothing. So if you take $1,000, you get it all come out. You get the money. So this is like more reasons why I'm like, there's no way Dom is the mole. This man is not that intelligent for my liking. So no, I agree with Casey. Get the clues and let's go.
So the clue says, they do it. Freedom is outside your door. The chess pieces are magnetic. Like, so you got, like, that was a huge clue. Definitely a huge clue. So the E cell block is free. So that's William, Avery, and Samara. And Will, like, when he gets everybody out, like, he lifts up Samara, and it's a big, like, a savior hug. Jesus hug, I guess.
Jesus hug.
And Alex has another deal to offer. $5,000 for 5 more minutes.
Because our girl Joy had no sense of agency whatsoever. She was just taking her time, and I was ready to switch off the TV and say, Joy, you know what? You don't need to take the quiz. Just go home, girl. Let's just go home and save me, because you are literally driving me nuts. And they actually needed every second, because she was there 11 seconds to the clock with an extra added time. I'm like, perfect. Just take your time, Joy.
Steven says, I was like, girl, we ain't doing real jail time. Get the F up. Why are you doing push-up? So I don't remember why they did this, but they took apart the stool and gave the stool in pieces to Joy so she can put it back together, stand on it so she can get the key out of her that's hanging on her ceiling and give it to them so they can open up her cell block. Other teams seem to be able to get this done without having to do that with the stool, or we didn't see it. But she was just
no. The other people already have stools made up for them, so they just run with them. So it was interesting to see that only Joy's team was the one that have to put the stool together, and then made me think Joy's team might have a mole in there. And I'm like, Joy is the mole, because girl, everybody else got their stores done. Why are you all having to do extra work?
Now, to our surprise, with 4 seconds to spare, they are able to make it out of the cell and get back to where everybody was meeting up. So they were able to make 14,000 on this particular mission, and they're at 26.5 is how much they have in the bank so far, which is starting to get to be a decent amount of money. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So Pranav and Jacob are talking. We see them, and they originally had suspicions around Sandy, but now their suspicions are gone. But they still want to make it seem as though she was maybe being a little bit sus in this jailbreak, and so that's very smart. If people think something about someone else, they might put them in the quiz, and it might just help you advance further. So I thought that was smart. And they're driving over to the dinner party. I thought it was a dinner party. I didn't know where they're driving to. And car 1 is going to be going to sector 31. And car 2 is going to be going to sector 45. Love
Chantele, let me tell you, this following segment is literally where I said, I'm in love with this show. I'm like, I'm in love with this show. Can we do the recording right now? Get this shit over and done with so I can continue to watch what happened next. Because now I am done. I am sold. This is it. My life is made. Oh my God, this is my favorite scene. There's still right here for me.
So Alex is on the PA and lets them know that if they do nothing at all, they'll get $10,000 that will be added to the pot. But there is a quiz tonight. And there's also a big red button. And if you press the button first, your team, whole team, will receive an exemption. And if you both teams decide to do nothing, there'll just be a regular quiz. One person will go home and $10,000 will be added to the pot. What would you have done?
Get the hell out of the room, because I don't trust anybody on the other room. In the ideal world, I would have said, let's all sit and get the money in the pot. But realistically speaking, I need to stay in the game and save myself. So when I saw Avery getting up and leaving the room first, I was like, yes, I am out of here. I am getting that mullah and I am pressing that button. I need to stay.
Button would be pressed. I'm sorry. Be like, guys, we're pressing the button. Let's just get an exemption. Who cares? So Dolores is saying, ladies, I am leaving now, but please come back tomorrow. I am loving your recap. Zoe, you are having me in stitches. You go, girl. It's either tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll have to decide 100% which will be best for us, but we will be back before the next set of episodes drop.
Yeah.
So they need to enter a password that to allow them to unlock the ability to press the button. And I believe they have 45 minutes in order for them to figure this out. And so two players have to stay in the room with the button at all times. And there's another room that has a table to find the password. It's in the table. So 31 is, wait, hold on. Which was the team that decided that they wanted to go first?
It was Avery's team. Wherever Avery's team is, that was the first one.
Damn it, I didn't write down the whole team. I should have. Okay, no, 31 is chilling and 45 is trying. So I don't remember who's on those groups. Well, we're going to be coming back to it the next episode.
Yeah, but I can definitely tell you the interesting part. Avery was the one who just got up. They didn't even negotiate. They didn't even talk about it. They just got up and they left. They're like, we don't have time to chill here. And I'm like, perfect. And then Greg on the phone trying to stall the other guys. I'm like, he's such a terrible actor.
He's like, well, I'm just staying here. I'm
not doing anything.
And so, then I believe, I don't remember who it was like, well, I want to hear your entire group scream at the same time. And so Casey was with Pranav, and then somebody else came back, I believe, and she goes.
Pranav came back and Craig, and then Casey was supposed to go to the other room to call them in so they can say, come and say, hey, Casey gets in the other room, like, oh, what's going on, guys? I'm like, girl, what's going on with you? Have you forgotten the mission? I'm like, Casey, that's fishy. Because if they could have came back and just said hi to everybody over the phone and then went out of the room, I think the other team would have bought it.
Mm-hmm. And so they passed the phone around. I think Pranav had the phone at one point, and he didn't know what to do. He's like, he just hangs up on them.
When he hung up the phone, I'm like, dude. And he goes to the confession. He's like, I think I just messed it up. I was like, yeah. Oh, it was South 31. Yeah.
Thank you, Adrian. I think, yeah, I was team 31. I liked them better personally. Like, I thought that they were I was rooting for them to get it before the other team.
But here's the thing, looking at these people is making it difficult for me to narrow down where the mole is, because I feel like South 31, there is no mole there. So they might be scared and want to stay very, very badly. They want to stay. And if Casey is a mole, then she will agree to the idea of going to press a button because they get to lose money. And then on the other side, I'm looking at Joy, and I'm like, Joy and Will or Jacob might be the moles.
Why? From what? I mean, I already think.
I don't know. I just feel like with Joy not being okay with just sitting there, I feel like in my head she will not be ready to just sit there unless she knows at some point in time the other team is going to go, because there's no way that you are not going to press a button. It's just a matter of, I'm not going to be the one to say do it first.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they're all just chilling over there, it's kind of like, maybe it's not a mole behavior, right?
Oh, it is a mole behavior because you don't get to go home if you're a mole.
Right. But then they'd win the $10,000. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like with Star 31, they were very desperate to stay. They didn't even feel they need to negotiate anything. So for me, that's
like,
not
we're gonna do this. We're gonna get the money for the pod, and it's like, no, I want the exemption. So now that Pranav held up the phone and really tipped them off that they were going for the button, now both cells are now rushing to figure out what this is, and so they're all entering different letters that the periodic table was giving them clues towards. I thought this was really fun. It was kind of like a little bit like a mini escape room with word scramble. Like, I definitely thought it was a fun little
that was more similar to the escape room that I played, because where I was at, we had to figure out the puzzle and get the key in order to get out within an hour. So there was like more escape room thing for me, because I'm like, where is it? I literally thought, is the table itself or is inside the table at the back? And this literally where my mind went. When you said in the table, I'm like, is that table itself or is somewhere inside there? So I was happy that I was on the right track. I don't think I would have got there that quickly.
So I would have gone down the same route that Pranav took with looking at the periodic table before thinking, because I was thinking that would be the outside of the box type thought, as opposed to looking in an actual table. So I would have been distracted by that a little bit. So one thing that they did is every time they came back with a wrong answer after 3, they were locked out for a minute. So that was also challenging.
It was scary.
Because when they finally figured out, so both teams, it seems as though they figured it out at the same time that it was in the table, that the actual word, the password was salvation, and they run back, and Sandy had been trying different words and was locking them out. And so they had to wait for this 1 minute so they could put in salvation. And we don't know which team got it correct and in time, because we got a cliffhanger.
And my thing is, I just hear Sandy's name saying, you guys told me to do it. I'm like, yes, Sandy, they told you. They can't blame you. But who would have known that they would have been timed out at some point? I'm like, oh my God, my heart was racing and was beating. And let me tell you, Chantele, it took everything out of me not to continue watching. The only thing that saved me was, one, I was drunk on Saturday. So I'm like, let me go back to partying. I don't have time for this. And then Sunday I was hangover, and then I had power outrage. So that saved me too. And then today was work, and that's safety. So I started watching again, and then I started watching the Real Housewives of Potomac because it's a latest season. So I was like happy about that. It kept my mind busy. And then I watched Married to Medicine, so that kept my mind busy. And then 2 hours before we start, I went back to watch 1 and 2. And right now, I'm ready to press play on episode 3 because I'm losing my mind.
Absolutely. I'm watching it right after this. Hi, Sophie. Yes, Joy is very suspicious. Very suspicious. Joy did plenty in the first 2 episodes to attract a lot of attention. Absolutely.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
If she's the mole, she's being way too obvious, in my opinion. Now, is salvation a possible clue to the mole? That's good point.
Thank you, Adrian. I should move into my house. I feel like she's going to pop up these things that I need to think about. I need to have this girl on speaker.
Adrian's a he, but Salvation, though, I mean, what is maybe Joy's last name? So we could like see if it's like maybe it's an anagram for her name or something like that, or I mean a scramble, whatever. So yeah, let's go and reevaluate some of these clues of the episode, and we will be back with you guys shortly. Honestly, this was really fun to talk about.
It was.
I really enjoyed talking about it with you, Zoe. So thank you for saying yes, like immediately to watching it and just popping on here with me to get this done right away.
The trailer made it so easy. It made it so easy. I'm like, this is easy. I'm definitely going to talk about this because if I didn't do it with you, I'll be running around my room talking it to myself or on Twitter. So having you guys here is very exciting for me. So let's do this.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Zoe. Thank you, everybody in the chat. You guys are so awesome. I'm so happy that you guys are hanging out with us. I didn't really give any warning that I was going to be covering this season, so it's really, really fun that you guys are all showing up here today. Ooh, it's going to be insane. Yes, I'm in. I'm pumped. It'll probably be in the afternoon again. I'm warning you guys, though. I think I have to do it on Wednesday because my tomorrow might be too busy. Because Zoe is 6 hours ahead of me, doing it around this time works for us the best. But when I have free time, I could maybe do it in the morning. I don't think
we can bring down the time. For me, 7 p.m., which is 3 hours before 9.
Tomorrow I can't do it at that time. So I think that we're going to have to do the next 3 episodes on Wednesday at around 1 p.m. Eastern, if that makes sense, right? For you, so 7 p.m. That's what we're going to be looking at, guys. I just don't have time tomorrow to be able to do it in the afternoon, unfortunately. So we're going to watch.
We're going to watch as long as we finish this 3 before Friday, so we can all be on the same page, and then we can take the quiz after we're done.
We'll take the quiz maybe together on Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right.
So we can see how far and how hot and how cold we are.
Wednesday, yes, it's Wednesday.
Okay.
Come on.
No problem.
Oh, Adrian's like, guys, I'm going to say that we got some players in the next episode.
Woo.
Yes. Okay. So fun. All right. So we are going to be back on Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, to talk about the next 3 episodes on the Mole. We will take the quiz together, depending on if it works that way or works well. We'll see what's going on. But thanks again for being here. Honestly, this was super fun. Zoe, do you have anything that you want to plug before we say good day?
Not really. I'm still working on editing Sandman. I don't think you guys are a fan of that, but I am a Sandman person, and I just finished watching this season, and I'm excited to upload my season. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Check it out. It's one of the greatest comic of all time coming to life. It's amazing.
Okay. Okie doke. So Thank you, everybody. Please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the Hangout Room. Yes, thank you, Kathy. Please ring that bell so you can get notified when we go live, because probably most of you guys are here because you do ring that bell and you are able to know that we are going to go live talking about the mole right now. So most likely on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing the next 3 episodes. Like this video, and only with knowledge of up into the first 2 episodes, who were you then thinking was the mole? So who was on your short list of suspects? Leave that in the comments, but this is only for episode 1 and 2, not with further information. Okay? Thank you, everybody. You guys are awesome.
Good night.
See you in a couple days. Bye.
Bye.